Yo, what is up? What is up? What's up, everybody? What is up? What is up? Galgox, what's good? What's up, bro? How you doing? How you doing? Another late night live stream. This one we are going to be talking about the One Piece verse and why it's absolutely peak. And we're really going to be going into detail about just the writing quality of One Piece and the lore building of One Piece. Yeah, as I said, another late night stream. There's a chance I might have to take like a quick break in between because my cat's in the room, and usually when I do these streams, she just starts like attacking my feet. She's just like a wrestling type cat and likes to fight. So if I end up taking a quick break, it's just me putting her in a different room. But anyways, this is about to be a super fun live stream. Galgog said, terrible sleep schedule. Indeed, man. Yeah, bro. Yeah, the sleep schedule is all kinds of jacked up. But it's all good. It's worth it for talking about One Piece. But all right, let's get into this, guys. So here's the thing, bro. Throughout the entire story of One Piece, dreams literally control everything. They are the power of dreams controlling the entire world, controlling every character, driving the plot forward. At pretty much anything significant that you can think of that occurs in One Piece has dreams attached to it in some capacity. The literal first page of the manga. Oh wait, bruh, Momo, chill. My cat's my cat's name's Momo, and she's already trying to battle me. Chill out. I might have to put her in a different room in 1 second. If she does it again, I'll put her in a different room. But anyways, the very first page of the manga, very first panels, is showing us Gold D. Roger's execution and his last words, just talking about his treasure, sparks a dream in people all around the world, and this dream literally creates the next era of piracy, the next great era of pirates, just from people dreaming about Roger's treasure. Like the pursuit of something that they don't even know if they can obtain it, but the desire and ambition to obtain it creates an entire new era. And we also get introduced in the very beginning of the series to the concept of the D initial characters. They all die smiling, and this is shown to us right at the very beginning of the manga. It also starts painting the picture that a lot of the characters in One Piece are not only just full of life and love for life itself, but the D initials specifically are even larger than life. Like, one of the really fascinating things throughout the manga is like the D initial characters, all of them create huge ripples throughout the world and amaze people. Like they don't just amaze us, the readers, but they amaze people within the verse itself just by them being themselves. They're not trying to be amazing. It just happens because a good way I could put it is like in the One Piece verse, almost every character, even the side characters, the small ones that just appear for a short while and then vanish into the background of the show, almost every single one of them has a dream of some capacity. And then the D initial characters tend to have the largest ambitions. Dreams and ambition are such a major part of the story that it literally powers, it's literally part of the power system. Hockey is literally just ambition. And what's revealed to be the most powerful type of hockey is conqueror's hockey. We don't even fully understand all of the prerequisites for obtaining conqueror's hockey. What we do know is that it's not something that you can train to obtain. It's just certain people who have large dreams are born with the ability to unlock Conqueror's Haki, and it's a very small number of people who can do that in the entire world of One Piece. So it's like an underlying theme is that dreams like create your whole life, and big dreamers have the biggest impact, and your dreams make you special as well. Like these are all like narrative elements all throughout One Piece. Okay, now from the very beginning of the story, something that Bigsy Biggs, what's up, bro? Welcome to the stream, bro. Galgog said I can feel you yawning. Nah, bro, it's lock-in time. It's yapping about One Piece time. I'm locked in. All right, so from the something that is very slept on, something that's not spoken about enough, is that from the very beginning of the story, the writing quality was already extremely high. Something to think about is when Oda first started writing One Piece, he was 23 years old. Like these first beginning chapters with all of these themes like cooked into it, this dude was only 23 years old writing stuff like this. And he was, from the jump, from the first chapter, he was already very good at putting a lot of life into each individual character. He had a lot of strengths from the very beginning of the series, from the very like first chapter. Oda had a lot of writing strengths that a lot of authors go their entire career and don't develop, not like to the exact level that Oda has. Okay, so right from the very beginning, one of the interesting things he does is he shows us the loyalty of Luffy and gives us a good insight into his character. So like, wait, did I skip one? No. Okay. Wait, is it on the next thing? I didn't put the panel here. Well, one of the things is Luffy as a 7-year-old kid, we see him interacting with Shanks and he looks up to Shanks. And then these bandits come in and clown on Shanks, pour like alcohol on him, smash bottles all throughout the bar. And then Shanks just laughs it off. But Luffy gets angry about it and calls Shanks a disgrace to pirates and starts insulting Shanks for letting these bandits for letting these bandits like make fun of Shanks essentially, or letting these bandits make Shanks look dumb. And Luffy gets angry about that and makes fun of Shanks himself. But then the moment the bandits talk badly about Shanks, when it's just Luffy there, Luffy starts crashing out. It's a very interesting parallel that he puts in the very beginning of the series. It's like when Luffy made fun of Shanks, it was okay to Luffy, but if anyone else made fun of Shanks, it's not okay to him, and he's willing to like fight to the death just for that. The thing that's crazy about it is like Luffy is just a 7-year-old kid. He cannot fight. He has 0 hands at this point in the story, but he's still willing to like potentially throw his life away just to stand up for the honor of Shanks. Then we get this just insane writing. Like this is all in chapter 1. We get some peak insane writing. That Shanks, this dude who's just been cool, calm, collected the entire throughout his entire introduction. Nothing phases him, and he's clowning on Luffy a lot. Like we don't even fully understand the relationship between Shanks and Luffy. We don't even know if it's just like one-sided admiration, and Shanks is just like making fun of him for fun, or if he like genuinely cares about him. But as the chapter concludes, we find out that he does genuinely care about Luffy quite a bit. He literally gives his arm to keep Luffy alive. He sacrifices his left arm to keep Luffy alive, and the bro doesn't even acknowledge it. The bro, like, the cool thing about this scene is like Shanks loses his arm, and he's like, bro, it doesn't matter. As Luffy, you're good, right? It's all good. It don't matter. And in this scene where Shanks loses his arm, instead of Shanks like even reacting in pain, Luffy is the one that's crying. Like that is peak writing, bro. Like that is just smart, subtle writing stuff from the very beginning. And then we had this insane panel, and it's like the longer the manga goes, the more iconic scenes like this from the very beginning become. From the very start of this, like, let me put it like this. this is all in chapter 1, and chapter 1 is a longer chapter. I believe it's like 40 to 50 pages. It's like one of the longest chapters in the manga, and the entire chapter up until this point, Shanks was clowning on Luffy. Said he wouldn't even take him on his pirate ship with him. But here at the very end of the chapter, he's showing that the whole time he actually had very high hopes for Luffy. And that he believes everything Luffy was saying. He wasn't just he wasn't laughing at him because he didn't believe him. He was just like having fun messing with him. But the whole time, Shanks believed everything Luffy was saying. And like you get all of that from just like one small panel. It's smart, bro. It's peak. And it's like this literally sets off the entire journey. That Luffy needs to become a great pirate and give this hat back to Shanks. And then this is how the chapter ends, with a callback to the very beginning of the chapter where Luffy tells Shanks, like Luffy's trying to convince Shanks to bring him with him on his pirate crew, and Shanks is like, nah bro, you're just a little kid, you can't do squat. And Luffy tells him that his punch is as strong as a pistol, and Shanks is just like making fun of him for it. And then the chapter ends with Luffy one-shot KOing the Sea King that bit Shanks' arm off. We get like a little time, we get a 10-year time skip. See young adult Luffy one-shot KO the Sea King that bit Shanks' arm off, and he names his attack Pistol. Like it's in homage to when he said this to Shanks. It's very sick writing. It's like the chapter 1 of One Piece is just like massively underrated in my opinion, and it's far better than like episode 1 of One Piece to me. Then like as I would word it like this: the more time that goes on, the more iconic all of the East Blue becomes. Like every introduction to each member of the crew is hype, like insanely hype. And there's so many parallels throughout the remainder of the story back to the early scenes that like these just become more and more iconic as time goes on. Like Luffy's introduction, the first time Luffy meets Zoro, it's just iconic, bro. It's iconic because it's like, as the story goes on, you realize that Luffy and Zoro are a parallel to Roger and Rayleigh, and we get to see how Roger met Rayleigh. It's in a very similar scenario to how Luffy met Zoro. We get to see them like talking about their dreams and how they're just the perfect team. Like these two together are just like the dynamic duo. And something that's fascinating about Luffy and Zoro is like, in most manga, these two characters would be rivals with each other, constantly fighting each other. Like, for example, Naruto and Sasuke, when they first meet, they become rivals right away and they're constantly fighting each other. But Luffy and Zoro, they're not rivals at all. They're just straight up partners, bro. Like, Zoro is just a loyal vice captain to the crew. Just a loyal right-hand man to Luffy, bro. Never trying to outdo him, never trying to like sabotage him in any way. Just straight up loyal from the very beginning. And it stays like that the entire series. It's very sick. Now we're going to get into some like foreshadowing stuff. I added this panel here just because I think it's a great representation of like how adventurous this manga is. Something that happens throughout this manga is, I'll put it like this, like Luffy, everywhere he goes, he's making the world a better place unintentionally. Luffy is like one of the best examples of chaotic good that I've ever seen in any manga. He's not trying to be a hero to the world, but he unironically just continuously is a hero anyway. He's really not trying to be. He's just trying to enjoy his adventure, and he just does whatever he chooses to do. But due to the size of his dream and like who he is as a person, he continuously ends up not only like fulfilling prophecies, but liberating countries and improving the lives of people everywhere he goes. Like they're Luffy and the crew are just genuinely making the world a better place as they go on their journey for Luffy to become the Pirate King. I just think this panel is a good representation of that. Like, these guys are just out here enjoying their journey, and everywhere they go, like, people's lives are improving. But we'll get into that a little bit more in a second. Here's a piece of foreshadowing that's absolutely insane. This is around chapter, like, I think it's around 200. Maybe it's in maybe it's in the late 100s. But Dr. Kureha, when she talks about Gold Roger, she calls him Gold D Roger. This is about 300 or 400 chapters before it's revealed that his actual name was truly Gold D Roger, and that he was a D initial. But it's like little foreshadowing moments like this are scattered all throughout One Piece. And One Piece is like, it's done so subtly you don't even notice it on your first read through. One Piece is a type of series that I genuinely recommend everyone should read twice. Like, the first time you read it, you're just getting mind blown by like the adventure and how everything's new and wild and like crazy stuff happens like every single island. But on the second read through, you notice so many things that were literally impossible for you to notice on your first read through. It's just so deeply written. I don't even know how to put that quite into words. It's like his foreshadowing is done so well, it doesn't even feel like a human being wrote it. There's like things like this. You can tell that Oda plans out things like hundreds of chapters in advance. Like, this bro literally just wrote this like in the late 100 chapters of his manga, and is like, you know what? Yeah, I'll come back and explain that in about 300 chapters. And he does that all the time. He's literally still doing that now. Within like the most recent chapters, he's dropped so much insane lore that's not going to even get fully revealed for like hundreds of chapters from now. He just continuously writes like this. It's very unique, bro. It's very unique. Now, this is something that's just truly hype to me. Like, a genius concept that Oda put into One Piece is that each fight that Luffy has feels like a legitimate boss battle from like a challenging video game. It's like when Luffy has a major fight at the end of an arc, the entire arc builds up to that one fight with Luffy versus the final boss, and he's always like the strongest person on the island. And when Luffy finally gets the W, Luffy celebrates. Luffy celebrates the moment he wins, and then after that, they throw a party. Like, that is sick. Most shonen characters don't do that, bro. Like, they don't, bro. Like, if you go, like, let's say, if you've read Full Metal Alchemist, that's a peak shonen. But you don't really see Ed ever celebrate any of his W's. Look at, I don't know, Hunter x Hunter. Gon and Killua, they'll have some crazy battles, but they don't throw parties like this. Like this is a genius concept. It really, like, makes you appreciate the boss battle more. It's smart. Like, it's such a simple, subtle thing, but it works so well, and he does it every arc, and it literally is always cool. And, like, it's just more of an example of Luffy just enjoying his adventure. Like, being a pirate is fun to him, bro. This man likes being a pirate. Like, it's sick. It's just a genius concept. Like, have him have these insane boss battles, all this serious stuff, and then every arc ends on a light note. Every single one. It's peak. And then you're seeing him, like, impact people just by being himself. This happens every arc, bro. And, like, this is another example of Luffy just being himself and drastically improving Chopper's life. Every person in his crew is someone whose life he's drastically improved. It's just so dope. And then another thing is, like, another running element, like continuously running element, is that after each major boss battle or each major island, you get to see their bounty increase. And, like, here's the thing, bro. In my opinion, One Piece is the best written adventure manga in shonen, and for a lot of different reasons. One of them is Luffy starts this series at literally the bottom of the barrel. You start with chapter 1, 7-year-old Luffy, who's so weak he gets whooped by bandits. Then as the series goes on and on and on, he just gets stronger and stronger. The dude has to grind for everything, bro. And he's constantly like in a good mood about it anyway, just enjoying the entire journey anyway. Another thing to consider is Luffy takes so many L's, but he takes them like a Chad. The dude never complains. He's one of the only MCs where when he takes L's, the fan base gets hyped because it's like, you know that Luffy has to earn his W's. He really doesn't get cheap W's. He really doesn't. His cheapest W in the entire series doesn't even happen until chapter 800, where he fights Katakuri, and even that one is that's like the cheapest W he ever gets, and that one is controversial because it's like Katakuri injured himself in the fight, and a lot of people like view it as Katakuri like let him win. There's so many different ways you can interpret that, but like all throughout this manga, dude, this dude gets cooked. He loses a lot. And like if you actually add up all of the losses Luffy has, he's probably actually no, he's definitely lost more than he's won, because from age 7 to age 17 he pretty much never won it was actually age 7 to age 14, he pretty much never won a single fight. All he did was lose to Ace and Sabo over and over again. He has like literally thousands of L's on his record, bro. But he gets cooked all the time and then just keeps getting back up and keeps moving forward and is always just like happy, bro. And also this scene is iconic, like how Luffy's first wanted poster, like I like how Usopp's in the corner, that's just funny. But this pose like gets duplicated a couple times. I think there's a parallel between his wanted poster and Ace's. Like one of his wanted posters, he's like doing the same pose as Ace, which is another parallel to Ace being like his compass on the sea in the beginning. So many like hype things, bro. Another thing is freaking Blackbeard, bro. Blackbeard is one of the main antagonists in the story, and he's introduced as like a good guy, dude. And we don't even know his name at this point, but he spits like one of the craziest speeches like in the entire manga. It's just one of the coolest introductions to a villain I've ever actually seen. Because like they have, when you first see him, they have the scene where like Luffy and Blackbeard are sitting side by side at a bar, and like everything Luffy likes, Blackbeard hates, and everything Blackbeard hates, Luffy likes, and it's like done as like a comedy gag. And then they get insulted by the people of Mocktown for like believing in Sky Island. And Blackbeard is the only, like, this is the one thing that Luffy and Blackbeard both agree on, is like the concept of dreams, bro. They're both dreamers and they both agree with that. Basically, it's showing you that Blackbeard and Luffy are two sides of the same coin. Like literally Oda draws the panel just like this. And it's showing you that like they're pretty much the exact same person. The only thing that separates them is like Luffy has a moral code and Blackbeard doesn't. Now, this thing is like, bruh. The stuff with Skypiea is just like peak adventure shonen. It's literally an island in the sky full of gold that most people don't even believe is real. And Luffy and his crew, they get to the island literally called, I think this island's literally called Mocktown. I'm pretty sure, or it's Jaya, I forget. I'm tired. Like, it's Jaya, but there's also Mocktown. Is Mocktown near Jaya? I don't even remember. But one thing I know that's wild about this island is like everyone here has given up on their dreams, and they're all like a bunch of losers. Like this is it's a constant theme throughout the manga. It's like people who have dreams are moving forward, and people who don't are like stuck, and they're just and they make fun of people who still have their dreams. Then Luffy. Well, here's the other interesting thing is like Luffy doesn't even want to fight these guys when he finds out that they don't have dreams. He like loses all desire to fight them because in One Piece, the concept of giving up on your dream, especially to Luffy from his perspective, giving up on your dream is worse than death. So he doesn't want to fight them when he finds out like that they don't have dreams. And like Zoro has a bit of dialogue talking about that, pretty much saying the exact same thing. It shows like Zoro and Luffy, they think almost exactly the same on everything. But then the whole arc of Skypiea is just epic, bro. And like how it ends with this has a lot of parallels to the Joy Boy stuff. And just like, how do I word it? It's like some of the best moments in One Piece aren't even the fight scenes, bro. It's like One Piece is one of the only shonen where if you take all of the fight scenes out, it's still an 8 out of 10, bro. Like stuff like this is just peak. It's like this is just an excellent way to show that the adventure was successful. This is a message purely to these guys. Also, it's a parallel to like the big shadow giants they saw at the very beginning of the arc. And it's a parallel to Joy Boy. And it's like telling them like, hey guys, Sky Island is real. It's up here. You got like, because he's the descendant of Norland, and Norland was like insulted for hundreds of years, trying to tell people that Sky Island was real and that the city of gold was in the sky. No one believed him. And this is Luffy telling him like, yo, it really was up there. And then you have this scene of this dude crying. He's saying he's happy that they're alive, but he's also like crying because he's realizing like his ancestor was not a liar. His ancestor gets written in the history books as like Norland the liar, but he was actually not. And like this dude was like one of the only ones who believed him. And this is Luffy proving they're right. And then the arc ends with the Straw Hats making the most money they've ever made, stealing $300 million of gold or berries in One Piece world. It's sick, bro. It's like literally the ultimate adventure manga. And the funny thing is like the people of Skypiea wanted to give them way more gold than that, but they didn't even listen to him. They ran off with gold they stole because Luffy's like, it's more pirate-like to steal gold. It's just perfect, bro. It's literally just so good. And then another thing, bro, is that the story parallels itself. The pre-time skip and the post-time skip parallel themselves all the time. Like, the Ace versus Blackbeard battle is a parallel to the Law versus Blackbeard battle. It's literally Ace is a D initial, Blackbeard's a D initial, and they're clashing. Blackbeard's a D initial, Law's a D initial, and they're clashing. And both of these fights happen right, like almost right after. So let me put it like this. This fight happens not long after Alabasta, and like pretty recent. How do I word it? Ace had like almost just seen Luffy, leaves Luffy and then fights Blackbeard. Law leaves Luffy and then fights Blackbeard. It's like they parallel each other. It's the clash of D initials from pre-time skip and the clash of D initials from post-time skip. It's sick. And the fight like even starts the same, bro. Some more crazy foreshadowing. This is a panel from Marineford where Bonnie is watching Marineford, and like she's watching it on this TV in Sabaody, and we get this random panel of Bonnie crying, and we don't know why she's crying. This is happening like early 500s, chapter like 520 or something. And it's not revealed until like chapter 1050 that Bonnie is Kuma's daughter. And she's crying because she's literally seeing her father like an android war slave. Like 500 chapters of foreshadowing. Most people don't even know this panel exists, bro. Like, there's so much subtle foreshadowing just baked into One Piece. Like, one of the best ways I've heard One Piece described is that everything matters. Like, every character matters, every piece of dialogue matters, Every panel matters, and a lot of times you just don't know it matters until like 100 chapters later. It really is like that. Another good example of this is like a lot of the side characters you see that you like don't even remember their name. Oda will put them into cover stories like hundreds of chapters later and show you that like they've progressed in life and have done good things. Like for example, in Skypiea, there's this priest that Chopper fights. I think his name is like Gadatsu or something, and he's an idiot. Like he like that's his whole comedy gag, is that he's so stupid he forgets to do common sense things. Like one of the things he does is he'll try and talk, but his mouth is closed, and he's like, oh whoops, I forgot to open my mouth when I was trying to speak. Like that moron. Oda, like hundreds of chapters later, did a cover story of him, and it turns out he like made his way to Alabasta and started a business with Vivi's childhood friend, and is like living a good life as like a businessman now. It's like Oda constantly does stuff like that, bro. And another great example is just freaking Kobe. We see him in chapter 1. He is just like a punk, like he's just a fraud. And now here we have, and then by the time we reach Water 7, Kobe's like a completely different guy. Another example of cool foreshadowing is throughout pre-time skip, especially in Alabasta, Sanji would call himself Mr. Prince. Then 600 chapters later, it's revealed he's actually royalty, bro. Like, there's so many examples of this. These are just a few that I thought of off the top of my head. Like, this is why I'm saying One Piece is the type of story you need to read twice. And then the lore is just freaking nuts, bro. After Skypiea ended, Anil actually, he actually flew to the moon, discovered an alien civilization, beat them up, and is now like the king of the alien people on the moon. Like who writes something like that in a shonen manga, bro? He literally found an alien civilization, and like there's so much mystery behind the aliens on the moon in One Piece that like they think that humans might have came from the moon. And there's theories where it's like the celestial dragons might have been the only actual original humans on the Earth of One Piece. That's why they view everyone else as scum, because they're literally like not from Earth. Like there's theories like that. It's crazy, bro. And that might also explain like why there's so many like vastly different races on Earth. Maybe some of them are just straight up aliens in the One Piece verse. So that's super nuts. Then we got this dude Ryuma. Ryuma was genius because Oda, before he wrote One Piece, he did a one-shot manga called Wanted. Or I think it was called Wanted. It was either called Wanted or Monsters. And Ryuma was young. He was the main character, looked just like Zoro. And then Oda just decides to like take his old one-shot character, put him in One Piece as a zombie, and then makes him a pivotal part of the story. It turns out that Ryuma is one of Zoro's ancient ancestors. This sword is a legendary treasure of Wano, and we get mention of Wano in Thriller Bark. Chapter 400, bro. We don't see Wano until like 900. It's like, I don't know how he planned all this out. I really don't know how he did this, bro. Like, no other manga does this. None. It's not like this is something that's commonly done. He's the only guy doing this. Oda is the only guy who will write something down and be like, yo, 10 real years later from now, this is gonna hit. Like, that's what he does. Over and over, bro. And a lot of this stuff, he was writing it in his early 20s. And he's like, you know what? When I turn 40, we're gonna pick that back up, all right? And he does it all the time, bro. And then even right now, we are 1,100 chapters into this manga, and there are countless mysteries, countless, that we don't know the answer to yet. And they are so like They're fun to talk about. The truth is, I do not want them all answered. When One Piece finishes, I want there to still be mysteries that are unanswered. So that way we can keep like theory crafting the way we do now. It's like you really feel like you're part of the verse. It's like the most alive shonen I've ever read, bro. Like, there's these monsters. We don't even know what these things are. They're in the Florian Triangle. This is all we see of them. They're just giant monsters, way bigger than, like, this monster is bigger than this island. And we don't know squat about them. They're just monsters out in the Florian Triangle. We don't even know what they look like. We just saw their silhouettes, and we know they're island-sized monsters. And then, and this happened in chapter like 400 something. So how long ago was that? That was like 15 freaking years ago. We still don't know what they are. And then in recent chapters, Oda's adding mystery after mystery. Like, the lore is getting so crazy. I didn't even put a picture of the mural. When I saw the mural in One Piece, I said, you know what? It's not a debate anymore. I literally will not even consider it a serious debate. If someone asks me what's the best written shonen, it's One Piece, bro. I don't even consider it a debate anymore after the mural. It's like, yes, other shonen can be cooler than One Piece. Other shonen can have better aspects in them. But if you're just talking about pure storytelling, pure mysticism, pure lore, One Piece is #1 shonen. Hands down. Like, the mural was so insane. I sat there just looking at it for like 10 minutes, just mind blown. Like, the fact that an author 27 years into his manga is writing things that make it feel like he's in his prime is insane. Like, if you look at Jujutsu Kaisen, the best written stuff in Jujutsu Kaisen was Shibuya. And when you read Shibuya, you're like, yeah, this is Gege's peak right here. And usually it's like with most manga, the authors will have like one peak where you can tell it's like early in the story. It's like, okay, this is when everything was going right. And then after that, things started to fall off a little bit. You can even say that was in Naruto. Like in Naruto, I would say it kind of peaked around Pain. The Pain arc was kind of the peak of Naruto. And then after that, like, there was still some good stuff, but it really started to dip in quality a bit. Like, especially once we hit the Fourth Great Ninja War, it was definitely dipping. Dragon Ball, the peak was the Cell Saga, and then after that it starts dipping. Bleach probably has a peak as well. It might have been the Espada arc or like something like that, but I'm not very versed in Bleach. But it's like most shonen, especially long-running one, they have a noticeable peak and then a dip-off point. One Piece doesn't have that. It keeps freaking peaking. It's weird, bro. Like, the mural blew my mind. I was like, what am I reading? The bro has lore so deep. It's like its own mythology. Like, and then we get this. This was dropped at the end of Wano. They start talking about a man marked by flames, and that he's crucial to the end game. And we don't even know who he is. Bro, there's just so many things. And then we get all this lore about Loki. It's just, it literally never ends, bro. It literally never ends. So I just wanted to do this quick live stream just talking about why One Piece is so dang good. It is by far, it legitimately is my favorite shonen of all time. And honestly, it's my favorite manga. It's like, another thing I'd want to say about it is it's the only, that's not true. For a long time, it was the only shonen manga that would like make me feel like emotional, not from sad scenes, but from just like beautifully written scenes, bro. Like when Luffy beat Crocodile, that joint was not meant to be sad, but bro, that had me feeling crazy emotions when I first saw it. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, just so many moments like that, bro. So many moments. So many, like, peak moments. Like, One Piece makes you feel every emotion, bro. It's just wild. But yeah, that's all the yapping I want to do for One Piece. Let me look through these comments. I know it's super late at night. I just wanted to get this One Piece yap session out. So let me look through the comments. NSol124 said devil fruits were made from dreams. That's another thing. Like, literally, the devil fruits come from dreams. Salve said, I wish Conqueror's Haki was rarer in One Piece. That's a good point. It's very rare, though, when you consider, like, the entire world, because not everyone's a pirate. It's just that, like, Oda shows us all of his characters and gives a lot of his characters screen time, so it feels like there's a lot of people, but, like, how many people have Conqueror's Haki right now? Probably like 10, maybe 15 out of the entire world. Like, imagine if there was something in this world where only 10 to 15 people had it. You'd be like, man, that's extremely rare. Like, for example, in our world right now, there's like way more billionaires than there is people who have Conqueror's Haki in One Piece. Like, having Conqueror's Haki is like more rare than being a billionaire in our world. Another thing that makes me think of is the voice of all things. Bro, the voice of all things is a mystery to this day. We don't even know why some people have it. But we've seen Luffy has it, Momonosuke has it, Odin had it, and Roger had it. The only thing that they all have in common is that they all had Conqueror's Haki. But then there's people who have Conqueror's Haki and can't hear it, like Rayleigh and Zoro. It's like, what is that, bro? Like, what is that? And apparently, like, Roger, Shanks, Luffy, and Joy Boy all wear a straw hat. Is there something special about a straw hat? Like, there's so many things. There's also some theories that Kid is actually like a Vegapunk that went rogue, because like when you look at some of his attacks, it says like Punk 0 on it. And when you look at all the Vegapunks, they're numbered like 1 through 7, and one of them was like stated to be missing. So there's a theory that Kid was like a Vegapunk that went rogue, but we don't. I mean, there's just so many crazy things, bro. And it's like, how is this possible? How is it possible that a manga that's gone on 27 years still feels new? I literally get excited to read it every week. How? That's crazy, bro. Let me keep going through these comments. A Glazing said, keep Duck Kids, Killua Solos, pre-time skip Straw Hats. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't understand it. Maybe I'm just too tired to understand that one. Salve said, I was shocked when I found out this was not how the anime started. Yeah, bro. The manga is 10 times better than the anime. The anime is like reading the manga in slow motion. Ahmed said, yes, back home on time, bro. I'm happy to hear that, bro. Ahmed said, Oda had the main plot down by Skypiea, so it gives him the opportunity to add a lot of foreshadowing and hints across hundreds of chapters. Dude, the other thing about One Piece is, like, I think Oda said that One Piece, he was like dreaming of this story when he was just a kid. Like, him making this story is like literally his life's work, bro. It's insane. And I think he planned out the ending before he even started. Bro, the biggest mystery of all, we don't even know what the One Piece is. The name of the series, we don't know what it is. The other thing is that he lied about Luffy's devil fruit for 1,000 chapters. He, it's just endless. It's literally endless, the amount of crazy things Oda has poured into this story. It's endless, bro. It's just genuinely insane. It's genuinely insane, bro. Jamon said, are you catching up? So I'm 1 chapter behind. I still need to read the newest chapter. But sometimes I like to just save them and like just savor them. Like, I don't know. I love the One Piece chapters, bro. So sometimes I'll just save them so that like it's not over already. You know, like sometimes I do that, bro. Okay. Jamon said, I think Kaido was cheap and Katakuri. Dude, Kaido was epic to me, bro, because it was a gauntlet. It took 15 of like some of the strongest people all like rotating into the fight to finally beat him. That was, and Kaido did the whole thing while carrying an island, and he let them attack him countless times. Like, bro, I love that arc, bro. And Luffy's awakening, he's the last one out of all his rivals to get an awakening. I loved it. I loved it. And there's so many, bro, there's so many insane parallels in the Luffy versus Kaido fight. Like, for example, I made a short on this a long time ago, but if you like study the lore of Joy Boy and the sun god Nika, it gets crazy. Like, so I believe Who's Who told Jinbei that there was a story of how like slaves used to get on their knees and pray that the sun god Nika would save them from slavery. We see when Luffy is fighting Kaido, about to deliver the final blow, he's in his Gear 5 state, his sun god state. And like all of the slaves from Wano just instinctively get on their knees and start praying that he will save them because they know they can't beat Kaido. And like the interesting thing about that is that there's people in One Piece that can see into the future. There's abilities that let you see super far into the future. Especially the people who like write prophecies. So it's like the story of slaves praying to the sun god to save them. It makes you wonder, was that actually an ancient story, or were people looking into the future and seeing Luffy beat Kaido and seeing that scene and just wrote that down? Like, there's stuff like that in One Piece. Like, bro, no shonen's doing that. Let's just be real. No other shonen's doing crazy stuff like that. Come on, guys. Like, it's just so good, bro. Like, this manga is insane. Omina, that's got to be rage bait, bro. You said One Piece is trash compared to Hunter x Hunter. That's got to be rage bait. There's so many things One Piece does better than Hunter x Hunter. It's not even funny. Like, the lore in one, like, I'll put it like this. The lore in One Piece is, if the lore in One Piece is a 10, the lore in Hunter x Hunter is like a 7 at best. Like, the lore in world building is just perfect. It's perfect. And like, quite frankly, like the foreshadowing that happens in One Piece, Hunter x Hunter doesn't have a single thing that matches it. Not a single thing. It cannot hold a candle to that. But I'll tell you this, Hunter x Hunter does have better fights, and it has a way better power system. That's for sure. But it cannot hold a candle to the lore. It cannot hold a candle to the world building. It just can't. And also the work ethic is a night and day difference. These manga both started at the same time. Hunter x Hunter and One Piece both started within a year of each other. Hunter x Hunter was released in 1998. That was when it was first serialized. And One Piece was first serialized in 1997. So One Piece is 27 years old. Hunter x Hunter is 26 years old. How many chapters they have? You answer that, Amina. One Piece has 1,100. Hunter x Hunter has not even hit 450. That is a massive difference, bro. It's like, you have to give credit where it's due. The work ethic of Oda is straight up unmatched. And it's like, I'll put it like this. If Hunter x Hunter had as many chapters as One Piece and stayed as good as it is all the way through, then you'd have an argument. But you cannot just look at someone who's put in 10 times the work and has stayed consistent the entire time and say that Hunter x Hunter's better just because, I mean, and not even give a reason for it, actually. You didn't even give a reason. You know, it's just, One Piece is incredible, bro. And I'm a Hunter x Hunter YouTuber saying this. Okay. Alright, let's keep going. Kind Servant said Luffy's my favorite protagonist. Honestly, bro, he's probably mine too. Because this dude goes through it, man. And he just, like, he's inspiring, bro. He goes through it in life and just keeps going, dude. He's epic. He's epic. Ignorant Weed said, "Hey goat, what's up, bro?" Bro, that's exactly what I was talking about. You said sometimes it's too hype. It's so hype I start to cry. Literally, bro, One Piece is one of the only series that has brought tears to my eyes, not from sad moments, but from just beauty, bro. From raw beauty of the writing. It's crazy. Like that's only happened a couple times for me reading manga. Like another example was when I read Hajime no Ippo, and like one of the first major like title fights, the ending of it brought tears to my eyes too, just because I was like, that was peak. But One Piece has done that for me like several times on several different like scenes, bro. There's just so many incredible scenes that you literally forget some of them. Like, I'll put it like this, bro. You know the scene where Zoro loses to Mihawk and he's crying and says he'll never lose again? Like, the writing in that scene was so peak. I had said this one time before. There's shonen out there that have hundreds of chapters and they never once have a moment quite like that. They literally write their whole manga trying to get a moment that has like that much emotion, that much meaning to the story, that much foreshadowing, that much significance, and they fail. Oda does it in 50 chapters. It's like the dude's just different, bro. He's just different. The sketch artist, you said the creator of Hunter x Hunter started first. He made Yu Yu Hakusho. True, he did make Yu Yu Hakusho, but they're not that different in age. Like, let me look up. Let me see. Oda is 50 right now. Togashi is 58. But he has had health problems too, so it's not completely fair to say it's just pure ambition problems, right? It's not completely fair. But yeah, I guess I'll just leave it at that, because I respect Togashi. He's an actual genius. He's a true genius. But Oda is a genius with like non-stop, unbridled work ethic. And that's the difference. I mean, I think you have to be ambitious to create like two iconic manga. But I would actually say Togashi's probably more of a genius. But Oda is just like, he works like a freaking robot. I don't even know how he does this. I don't know how he does this. Doesn't even seem humanly possible. Literally. But, bro, love One Piece forever. Yeah, dude, it's just insane. There's so many things like that throughout the story. So many things. South Kingdom, dude. I've heard great things about Kingdom. I've actually never read that. I've heard so many times people say that that's like a peak seinen. I gotta read Kingdom. If I read Kingdom, I have a feeling that it might become my favorite seinen. Oh, bro, another thing that's just insanely peak is Fishman Island. Like, there's so much lore in Fishman Island. But the Fisher Tiger flashback backstory, that backstory is so peak, bro. It's literally like a parallel to the Martin Luther King Malcolm X story, and it's just written beautifully. And there's just so many like incredible messages in it. So much of this manga is just written like insane. Like, I just don't even know how to put it into words, man. Oda's out here writing like freaking Shakespeare, bro. In his early 20s, writing like Shakespeare. So much cool stuff in this manga. I could literally talk about it forever. Because it's like from the beginning, he's doing incredible writing things. Like, if you go back, for example, and read Luffy versus Don Krieg, that entire fight is like showing you the difference between a real dreamer, Luffy, and someone who's like a fake dreamer who like talks big and like cheats and does whatever he can to make himself look bigger than he actually is, which is Don Krieg. And they have like a lot of really interesting dialogue in there talking about like how Luffy's dream is like a spear that can pierce through like Don Krieg's lies and stuff. It's like there's so many cool genius metaphors in it. And like, you see how Luffy's dream affects people around him. Like, he gets people to pursue their own dreams. Like, because Sanji was lying to himself, saying he'd be okay staying at Baratier, and was willing to give up on his dream just to, like, be honorable for Zeph. But, like, Zeph didn't want him to do that, and he's like, observe this fight with Luffy, watch how he's like willing to risk his life for his dream. And like, Sanji seeing Luffy do that, like, changes him. Bro, it's insane. And there's so many, there's like example after example after example of these like really cool, subtle pieces of writing. So but all right, guys, that's enough yapping about One Piece for tonight. Someone was asking, could I do more lore videos for One Piece? Yeah, for sure. I love One Piece, bro. So it's my #1 favorite shonen, and Hunter x Hunter is my #2 favorite shonen. But they're both just incredible. Like, I could talk about Hunter x Hunter in pretty much the exact same way. There's so many things that Hunter x Hunter does just insanely well. It's just out of this world. And honestly, maybe I was being too harsh on Togashi, because I was saying, like, him not having chapters out is due to ambition. I think it's actually due to health problems, to be honest. But it's just, like, it's definitely not fair to say, to, like, talk down on One Piece, because, like, literally no other manga in history has done what Oda's done. Like, to be this good, this long, like, nothing else has done this, bro. No other manga has. Like, to be 1,100 chapters in and still creating like as much excitement as it did when it was only like 5 years old is nuts, bro. Anyways, that's enough for tonight. Love One Piece Forever said, I'm trying to make my own manga like One Piece, and how obsession is the main enemy which erases realities, and people need to use their dreams to fight obsession. That sounds like a cool concept, bro. Awakened Milkman. Okay, this will be the last comment I read, because, like, I listened to my live stream yesterday, and I was like, all right, I need to end the live stream. I'm so tired. And then I read comments for like 30 minutes after saying that. So this will really be the last one I read. It's from Awakened. He says, I've always said Luffy is a liberator, and he liberates each of the Straw Hats in his own way. Bruh, that's exactly right. That is exactly right. And if you think about where would the Straw Hats be if they never met Luffy, most of them would just be in terrible situations. So, all right, but that's enough, guys. I love One Piece deeply. I also love Hunter x Hunter deeply. Like, if I put it on a scale, One Piece is like a 99 to me. Hunter x Hunter is like a 97. I love them both tremendously. So yeah, they're just both incredible series, and I'll probably do a video like this for Hunter x Hunter too, just talking about all the peak stuff. Like, bruh, Hunter x Hunter, like, not only are the fights genius and the characters have so much life to them, like Togashi does things better than Oda, some things for sure. Like, he writes better villains for sure, writes better villains, and the dynamic between Gon and Killua is just like, just so epic. And I like how he writes genius characters, and I like how he writes his fights. Like, his fights are 10,000 times better than anything Oda could ever write for a fight, by far. But yeah, I'll have to do a video like this for Hunter x Hunter too, because I don't want it to come across like I don't like Hunter x Hunter. I freaking love it. Like, that series, bro. I remember, like, when I first experienced my first Hunter x Hunter hiatus, it, like, genuinely, deeply saddened me. And because when I first found Hunter x Hunter, I was a kid, bro, and I became obsessed with Hunter x Hunter. Like, I remember just every day watching Hunter x Hunter, like, rewatching it over and over, bro. Like, I became obsessed with that freaking anime, and I loved it so much that I forced myself to stop watching it because, like, my feelings were hurt by the hiatuses. Like, I've never experienced that with a manga before, bro. Like, so I don't want it to sound like I don't like Hunter x Hunter. I deeply, deeply love it, like, more than I could probably describe. So, you know what? You know, maybe tomorrow, my stream tomorrow will be me just talking about why Hunter x Hunter is peak. But all right, guys, it's time for me to go to bed. It is super late. But thank you, everyone, for tuning into the stream. And I'll see you guys on the next one.